Hi, everybody. Hope y'all are staying nice and warm. This is Dawn from Another Dawn Production, and I wanted to show y'all the latest thing that I learned how to make, which I saw a picture, which I'm just going to bring it up on my other phone and show y'all real quick. So I saw this, and I do not remember where I saw it, but I thought it was really cool. And I don't have a lot of ideas for men's designs. And I thought this, and it's a man wearing it, so I thought that that would be really cool. And I stared at it long enough that I finally figured out how to make it. Oh, look, angel number. Anyhow, um, I just now noticed that. I've been seeing a lot of angel numbers lately. Anyway, and I've been playing around with different designs, as you can see, and using different kinds of beads. Basically, you just need two pieces of leather or beading cord. Um, Depending on how you're going to end your project, like this one, I put a clasp on it with just some leather cord ends and a clasp, or you could do it adjustable the way that they had it in the picture. So if you're doing adjustable, you want to cut at least 14 inches of leather, and you want to cut your ends to have the angle on it in order for it to go into your beads a lot easier. So that's another design. And then this one's one of my favorites right here. That's another design. And definitely you want to, depending on how loose your beads are, so these beads stay more stationary, put a little knot there on one of them. This one I did a barrel knot, which I think I like that the best because it looks more clean. That's another one of my favorites right there. I haven't decided how I'm going to end this one. I think I'm going to do an adjustable one and put some little dangly beads on the bottom. And I've had these beads for a long time and I've never used them. And I thought, well, how cool those look on some pink leather cord, which is actually faux leather. But I thought that looked really cool. And I need to decide what I'm going to do to stabilize it. Could probably just put a tight jump ring on there to make it stay in place. Just wrap a little piece of wire on there. Anyhow, I'm going to move these to the side. Which this is take two, by the way, because I accidentally skipped a step in the first go around. So, but at least this time you don't have to wait for me to go off camera and remount one of the beads. So, as I mentioned, depending upon how you're going to do your enclosure, is how much leather that you're going to be cut, or beading cord that you're going to cut off. If you're going to use a clasp, you might be able to get away with 10 inches or 11. I cut off 12 if I'm going to use a clasp, which then I only had to cut off about an inch on both ends in order to straighten it up really good. And I'd use 14 inches for an adjustable clasp. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do, so let me show you the design that we're going to end up with. So I'm going to have these in the middle, and then these and these, and then these holding it together. Oh yeah, and then I decided I'm going to use this as my closure. There's actually enough room in here for all four to pass, and it's still tight enough that it'll be adjustable. And then I'll just tie some little knots since it's a men's bracelet. I won't be adding additional beads. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is load on whatever you're putting here. So like on the other bracelet, which I'm going to show you how to use that one too. But there was one using these. So if you use these, you put that on first. But I'm going to show you in detail how to do that as well. So you load on these two beads first, and then which I recommend putting it in first. You can probably get it in both cords at the same time, but this is just so much easier. If you put your bead on and then wrap it on your finger and hold it tight, then it just goes in pretty easily. Sometimes you have to give it a little smush and pull at the same time, but see, it just comes right out. I did try to I forget which one it was that I made, that it was a very, very tight fit, and it was kind of almost no fun at all. So moving forward, I won't be doing that. And then we're going to do it again on the other one. So silver bead and silver bead, and then wood bead into both. So, and you want to also make sure to give yourself some working room, because remember, you're going to be going like this in order to put it all together. So you want to give yourself enough room. And then now we're going to add on the other metal beads. And this is the step that I accidentally skipped and why we're recording again. So when you put this on, then you take, which it is, if you kind of lay it out so you get an idea of where you're going with it, then you can kind of keep track in your mind the direction that you're going and keep the picture out, because you can see it when you look at it. You can easily trace the pattern. So now we're just going to thread this one side into the wood bead, give it a little push and a pull at the same time. Come on, don't make a liar out of me. There we go. And then we're also going to thread it into here on that side. And now we're just going to do the same thing over here. Put that in there. Hold it down tight in your finger. Thread in the leather. Give it a little push and a pull. There it comes. Voila. And now, same thing over here. Gonna thread this in here. Now, you can kind of line up your ends and just kind of pull it together. Oops. What? Oh, dang. I forgot the other end. I'm not starting over again this time. Evidently, I forgot to do the other end. That's an easy fix. I'm like, why is it not working? Because it's worked every other time. There we go. So don't forget to do both ends before you get ahead of yourself. But see, already you can see it already working up. Just give it some more tugs and pushes and tugs and pushes, and just depends on how tight you want it to be. There we go. I want this to be a little tighter where these loops are. So voila. There we go. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Trying to straighten this up a little bit. That is all there is to it. Isn't that cool? I just love this. Now we're going to put, so I've got a round, 2 rounds, and an oval. So we're going to put this over here. Well, that stinks. I don't know how I got that. And well, they're even here, and I know I cut them the same length. Well, with an adjustable, it doesn't. I could put a clasp on it if it doesn't allow me to. That's another beautiful thing about this design is that if it does get in uneven, then you can just cut it and add a clasp. I don't know how that became so uneven. Anyway. We're going to put that on. Yeah, I'm going to need a. Well, I am so sorry, friends. This is extremely embarrassing, but I am not starting all over again. So if you're wanting an adjustable, lesson learned, if you're wanting an adjustable bracelet, then you're going to probably need 16 inches of leather to start. You know, I never even thought about trying to get it on before, if I'm being perfectly honest. It just looked like it was, and I assumed that it was. Embarrassing. But you know what? This is how we learn. We're learning together. I never claimed to be an expert. I just really wanted to show y'all how to put this together. So there's that one. And then again, you can end it, or we would just trim it off and put some cord ends and a jump ring and a clasp. If you'll bear with me for a second, I will get the cord ends and show y'all how to do that. I wasn't anticipating doing that, so I apologize that I did not get it, have some pulled out already. I honestly thought it was going to be an adjustable. So bear with me for just another moment. Let's see. These will work. Do I want to use that? Or do I want the other kind? Actually, I want this kind. I absolutely love this kind. Ugh, I got the wrong color. Ooh. Ooh, look what I just found. Ooh, these are gonna come in handy. Oh, I could use these. Oh, I'm gonna put that on the pink one. Cool. Oh, there's even, look at that bow. Ooh, that would be so cool. Yep, that would work. Oh, we're gonna have fun with that. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna have to cut that part out because I'm learning how to edit. Woohoo! It's a little confusing. Okay, so a men's bracelet is usually about 9 inches. So, which means you want to put your center at 4.5 inches and measure to 9 inches. Well, actually, because your clasp is going to be about an inch. So we want to put the center at 4 inches and measure to 8 inches. Bracelet math. Then you just fold it in half. And we're going to give it a little cut. Don't let Jennifer Miller see me wasting this much leather. Okay. Now, I love these kind of cord ends. They're so easy to use. So this one doesn't really have a front or a back, but you definitely want to pay attention if you end up having a front or a back. So you just put your ends in there and smush it down. Want to make sure that that your leather is even. And I like to use my chain nose pliers with the teeth, with the little ridges in it, because it just grips a lot better instead of slipping and sliding. You fold over one side, and because the other side is textured then it doesn't, you don't see any marks. Give it the tug test. And now we're going to go to the other side. Excuse me. I guess it's time for my allergies to start being stupid. Okay. I like mine to be nice and even and flat. Here we go. Yep, that looks good. Now this time, you do want to make sure that you've got your okay. So there is that side. Okay. Got it to push too far up. There we go. And there we go. Sometimes I find it necessary to go like this, squeeze it together that way, and then smush them down. There you have it. That's how you add the leather cord ends, and then you just put your jump ring in your clasp. And now you've got a men's bracelet. Now I wanted to show you how I use those other components, because I've had those for I don't know how long. I just had to have them. I got them off of Bead Box Bargains, and This one's not cut at an angle. And then I didn't know what to do with them. I thought they were so cool. And I've tried a few things here and there, but nothing that I was truly satisfied with. But I really love how they look on this bracelet. Well, I'm trying to cut it at an angle. Good, there we go. A good angle. And my magnifying lighted mirror, not mirror, glasses over here. Okay, so with this, since we're going to use one of these, then you put this on because this substitutes the other two. Remember, you want to keep your ends as even as possible. And then I'm going to use these guys, the little mixed metal action. And pull that down. Which you still want to leave yourself some working room because you still got to flatten in order to wiggle, which this is one of the ones that's it's a bit of a challenge, not gonna lie, but it does work, obviously, and I think it turned out fabulous looking. So we're gonna thread this on and this on, straighten up our ends so we can put it down at the bottom in the middle. And now we're going to put this one on. Okay. And now we're putting this one on. We're going to hold this down, pick up this one. Yay, that goes right through. This is the part that's going to be the challenge. But it does work. You just have to push and pull and push and pull. Come on. It's trying to come through. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Another little trick you can do. And you want to be really careful because this is really super thin leather and it is very fragile. But you can flatten it a little bit with your pliers. And then go back to where that spot is where you flattened it. Now see how much space we have? because we did that. Come on. The struggle is real. It's almost there. Okay, instead of making y'all watch me suffer through this, I'm just going to show you the completed piece. So, it's possible I might need to ream that, and which you can do. You can ream these and make them a little bit bigger, but this is the leather that I used, and it's obvious that I used these components and it worked just fine. In fact, I don't recall it being that much of a struggle to get it on. So, and then once you get it through, just like the other one, and then just finish them off. And there you have it. You've got your pretty quick and easy, beautiful bracelet. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. And I hope that y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope everybody's staying safe and warm. And until we meet again, this is Dawn from another Dawn production. Bye.